Hey guys, what's up? It's me, dabadgummybear, coming back at you with another video. Today I'm going to be commentating over a Wi-Fi battle that I did a while ago, but I'm gonna commentate over it now. So without further ado, let's get into this. I've been watching a lot of competitive battles on YouTube recently, and it looked like some fun to do. So I thought I'd do one of mine and commentate over it. So anyways, I let off with my Tyranitar as I usually do, and she leads off with the Goodra. Now, with my lead, I usually have Stealth Rocks on it, and I use Stealth Rocks because they're really helpful. So anyways, the Goodra uses Muddy Water, but it doesn't really matter because my Tyranitar is pretty specially defensive. But I used the Stealth Rocks. So yeah, I got that out of the way. Now my Tyranitar had done its job, so I thought I'd just go in with some Earthquakes, but it used Power Whip, which did a lot more damage because my Tyranitar isn't as much physically bulky it is specially. So anyways, I use an Earthquake, which did over half, plus the Sandstorm. But luckily the Goodra uses another Power Whip, but it misses again, and I use Earthquake, so now the Goodra is dead, which is great. So now, she sends out the Shieldy Swordy thingy, and yeah, it uses Stance Change and goes for a Sacred Sword, which just is going to take out my Tyranitar, no question. It got a critical hit, but that doesn't really matter, because it's ×4 effective, I believe. So yeah, send out Blaziken. It's a shiny Blaziken, which doesn't really have anything to do with anything, but you know, just stating the facts. And I go for a Mega Evolve, and I use Swords Dance, because I predicted the thing to go back into shield form and using King Shield, and I was right, and did do that, so that was great. So I got a free Swords Dance up, and plus the speed boost on Blaziken, and the Sandstorm subsided, which is good, so that won't be hurting me anymore. So I got the speed boost, so I'm +1 speed and +2 attack, so Fire Punch just knocks it out, one-hit KO. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. Got another speed boost up, so I'm +2 speed and +2 attack. And he sends out the Noivern, which I wasn't really sure what to do, so I just did a Fire Punch. And it doesn't nearly do enough to knock it out. It's left with a little bit of HP, and it uses Hurricane, which just knocks out my Blaziken, one-hit KO. So then I send in my my Togekiss, because it's Dragon type, but it used Hurricane again, so I assumed that it was Choice Specs. So yeah, I became confused, unfortunately, and I hurt myself in confusion, which really sucked, because my Togekiss really pulls through a lot, and yeah, it can be really mean with the Serene Grace and flinching and stuff like that. But it used Hurricane again and took me down to red, and I was confused, hit myself in confusion, so I was like, well, that sucks, my Togekiss has been pretty much useless this game. Didn't die yet, I restored a little bit of HP with leftovers, and I switched out into my Rotom Wash. Good old rinse cycle. It used Hurricane again, so yeah, at this point I could tell that it was definitely Choice Spec. And it didn't do that much, but it did a good amount. Used Hurricane again, and yeah, that did a lot actually, because now I'm about 1/3 of my HP down with Rotom Wash. I used the Volt Switch, which takes out that cursed Noivern, which I really don't like. Well, I mean, I like that it took it out. I didn't like that it kept killing my Pokemons. Anyways, I switched out, going to Flinchy, and got some leftovers healing. Waiting to see what my opponent was gonna put out next. Puts out a Greninja. I assumed that it was gonna use Ice Beam, so I switched out and went into Gypsy. My Cloyster used Ice Beam, which doesn't do that much to the Cloyster, but, well, I mean, it does a good amount, but it was resisted ×4, I believe. But Cloyster's special defense isn't very good. The Greninja uses Surf, which I was kind of scared about. I'm like, well, there goes my Cloyster, but it hung on there with 15 HP. And I shell smashed. So yeah, I was starting to get set up with my cloister, because now it's going to be faster. And all my stats, well, most of my stats are going to be raised. And then I used the white herb to restore my defense and special defense that went down from the shell smash. But I used Rock Blast and it missed, unfortunately. So it just used Surf again, and that was the end of my cloister. So he was pretty much completely wasted, unfortunately. I sent back in my my Rotom Wash. Used Grass Knot, but it doesn't do too much to him, considering that it was super effective. I lived with 5 HP though, and I used Rest, which was a smart play on my part. So yeah, I got full HP, and my Rotom Wash has the Chesto-Resto combo. Restos, and it eats the Chesto Berry to wake up. So yeah, I was back at full HP, used Grass Knot again, doesn't do too much. Then my Rotom Wash uses Will-O-Wisp. I'm not really sure why I didn't go for the Volt Switch at first, but I went for Will-O-Wisp for some reason. So yeah, I don't really know why I did that, but I did. Alright, well, the Greninja uses Grass Knot again, and finally I use Volt Switch. I don't know why I didn't do that to start off with, but if I did, I would have not had to lose that much HP. Okay. So, now that I got the Greninja out of the way, I don't have to worry as much about that. Then I send back in my Togekiss to get some more leftover HP, because I really wanted it to get back up to full health. Just because it can be really useful and really a nuisance to the other team. He sends out his Tyranitar. And I was like, okay, well, I think that that'll be fine if I keep Togekissing, which was a bad idea on my part. Anyways, the Tyranitar Mega Evolves, and then my Togekiss uses Roost. So I got back to almost full HP. And then the Tyranitar uses Stone Edge, and I'm like, oh no, but that didn't do enough to kill me. And, okay, so the Stone Edge didn't do enough to kill me. Left me with, in the red HP, but I got my leftovers, which brought me back up to low yellow. And I used Roost faster, so I assumed I'd be faster than the Tyranitar again, but I wasn't. And it used Stone Edge, so I guess it was a speed tie between my Togekiss and Tyranitar. Next I sent in Dovahkiin, my Salamence, and I used Earthquake, and that didn't do nearly enough to knock it out, unfortunately, and I saw the Stone Edge. Dovahkiin isn't very bulky, so it's like, well, that was the end of him. So, Dovahkiin's down. At this point I was kind of worried that I was going to lose, but I sent in Rinse Cycle, go for the Hydro Pump, and that takes out the Tyranitar. So, yeah, at least that thing's gone. So I got rid of most of the threats on his team. Then he sends out the Charizard, and at this point it's just one-on-one. Whoever moves first will most likely win. He moved first, used Outrage. At this point I was like, oh crap, I thought I was going to lose. But luckily my Rotom is very physically bulky. He took that Outrage like a champ, goes in for the Volt Switch, and he wins me the battle with 6 HP remaining. And yeah, that made me feel really good to win that, considering Rotom Wash just came in and clutched it. He was definitely the MVP of that round. So yeah, this is the end of the battle. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and bye!